everyone, and welcome back to the corner of Remnant.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm your host, Larissa, Nerds Abuzz. I'm joined by my co-host.
Hey, I'm Emperial Dawn. I'm a RWBY fan artist.
Yay!
Yeah.
And we're sorry we're late. We had some possible technical issues.
Technical,
and
pet,
life.
social, a lot of things. Busy morning. Busy
morning, absolutely.
But a brighter and nicer morning than the night we did last week. That didn't make sense.
Hello again. No. Hi, Vic.
Brighter than it was last stream, because last stream was at a night time.
That's true, yes. Stream was good, awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But yes, I did have some disconnecting and reconnecting issues last night, so if the stream goes offline, please tell me, but hang 10, it should be back up a few seconds later.
Yeah, so thank you everyone who's sticking through this.
Yes.
'Cause...
And those on YouTube, if you notice anything weird with the video, it's probably because the stream went down and then I had to cut it and put it back in. It's going to annoy me editing. Let's hope it doesn't happen, please.
Technical issues
Yeah.
from computers and Australian internet.
Yeah,
Not exactly not a great mix.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think it's my slobs, but I'm not sure. Anyway, Chris thinks it might have been the internet, but yeah.
SLOB stands for Streamlabs OBS, I learned.
Yes, it does. I'm sorry I didn't tell you that. I'm like, slobs, and like, that means Streamlabs OBS, right?
It's like, geez, Larissa, I know you can be a slob sometimes, but you don't need to point it out like that, geez.
So much when followers will be like, what the hell is slobs?
I think most people knew what it was. I assumed that's what it was. I was just like, let me just double check this, just to make sure. You kept saying slobs and OBS, I'm like, aren't they the same thing? That I think that's what confused me at first.
Yeah, no, so yeah.
You're saying slobs versus OBS. I'm like, but slobs is, I don't know. It's a thing. But hopefully it is not an issue at all, because hopefully everything works and runs
good.
fine.
Yes.
So whether you're in the live stream, lurking, commenting, watching the Twitch VOD, watching the YouTube VOD, we appreciate everyone to come through and just listen to two nerds in Australia, one of which isn't Nerds of Oz, but one is. Just enjoy and talk about the most recent episode of RWBY, which was episode 7, The Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper, yes.
Oh. So we'll be discussing that today, along with a few other details that I would like to bring up, but if we get to them, we'll get to them. We'll wait and see. Of course, we're a little late today, so we'll see how things go. We'll see. We've been much longer with these streams this year, or this season, so we'll see if we can... I noticed
the last couple weren't as long as the first few.
Weren't as long?
Yeah, so our first few streams for Volume 6 were like 2 hours. I think one was almost close to 3 hours at one stage.
Well, to be fair, we had to deal with the premiere and then episode 3. So, the fact that around that time would have been a bit longer for the streams, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then the last couple
those were things. Those were things.
They were things.
As was this one, though. This episode was quite a thing as well, I thought.
Yes, I love
just before we get into details, much like the rest of this volume, I really liked this episode.
I love this episode. It was so good.
Some surprising things in there, for sure.
Yep.
Well, actually, quite a few surprising things, actually. But definitely up there. I think one of my favorites, along with episode 5.
Yep.
I think. And again, and not because of the obvious first scenes in both of these episodes, but actually the latter half of the episodes, 5 and 7, made me like the episodes a lot. So, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff from Rooster Teeth so far.
It was good. I felt it was paced really well too.
The only episode that I think wasn't flawless or great was maybe episode 4.
Yeah, it was sort of
but even then, like, you know,
it was still good.
It's still really, really good.
Yeah.
So far, just everything.
Sort of the short one in between the 2 longer episodes, so.
Yeah, of course. It was just a buffer episode.
In between.
Yeah, that's how that works. But any of you guys in the chat, feel free to give any of your opinions or anything of the like. Yeah.
So, episode, I guess we start with what happened at the start, which of course was Cinder's chat with Neo in the vault.
Yes, so I guess that assumes that it would probably imply that Mistral is closed indefinitely. I would wager to say, because we knew that students were going to return right after battle, but with Leo of course gone and just the event, I guess Mistral is just closed, and that's why also I assume Neptune and Sun were more willing to go off elsewhere because the school was closed. So even though it was off session during Volume 5, it's closed seemingly indefinitely. right now, which is scary for Mistral. Mistral's definitely very much on its own right now. It really doesn't have anyone kind of watching.
Well,
watching
Atlas, sort of, they told Atlas basically to bugger off, so...
So Alice to bugger off, the Huntsman buggered off because of Salem.
Yeah.
And then all the students aren't there either, so... I didn't thought about that. Yeah, poor Mistral. But I guess without the relic there's no real reason, I guess, for it to be in any surreal danger, I suppose. But true. As we've seen, I think Mistral does have enough of an underground to kind of defend itself kind of thing. Like,
it'll be fine.
I think so. Like, it was sort of like from like people like Little Miss Malachite and stuff. There are definitely badder organizations out there, but still like enough to, I guess, come to its defense should Grim invade. Because, you know, it's like in the Great War, you know, even though there are two evil sides, they'll still stop to fight the Grim.
Yeah.
So even the bad crime guys of cities will still fight the Grim if there's like an invasion, because if there's no city, there's no crime. So
yeah. The other thing is they could have gotten entrance to the bottom through the bottom part of where the vault is.
Well.
Yeah, how Cinder got out.
True as well. That would be a hell of a climb, but
Cinder just flew up there.
I imagine. Okay, so it's either one of two things. One of the things is Cinder Supermaning Neo up there,
yes,
like Superman is Lois Lane going to the sky, or Neo is Mary Poppinsing Cinder to the top.
Yeah.
No, like because Mary Poppins can get like up with an umbrella. Can't she like fly?
Yes, she can, though I don't know if Neo will be able
to. So it's
to.
like Neo's just holding Cinder on the umbrella and then just like elevators going up into the vault.
Well, they took the elevator down, but I can just imagine Neo just Mary Poppins the way down instead of using the elevator.
Oh, regardless, it's all good fun.
I wish we got to see them entering the vault. Either way.
Yes, it's great to see that set piece again because it's such a nice set piece. So I'm glad they used it again. This scene in general was minimalistic. It wasn't necessarily the most important scene.
But it was setting towards what, basically setting the scene with Cinder explaining to Neo that she needs to get to Atlas, how she can't kill RWBY, but she wants Neo to kill RWBY because they only told her she can't.
It was just, I think it was nice re-establishment of like the status quo.
Yeah.
It's like what Neo knows, what Cinder knows, what Cinder's feeling, what Neo is willing to do, kind of thing. Just kind of setting the stage, and I think this maybe could have been in episode 5.
Could have been.
Like after the fight, or in episode 6. I don't know if this needed to be here. That's my only thing.
I guess they needed to put it in somewhere, so...
They needed to put it in somewhere, I think. But it was just short enough to where, like, maybe you could have tacked it onto another Cinder Neo scene earlier. But regardless, I still liked it for what it was. I liked the... I don't think I noticed it the first time, but I liked the second time where Cinder is actually summoning a different dagger.
Yeah, so that shing sound really cool. You at the start. Shing, shing.
Yeah, because it's a different dagger each time.
Yeah.
You only see, like, 1 or 2 where she actually is changing it.
Yeah.
But that was really nice.
And then she has a melt in her hand, and you see Neo watching her, like looking at her hand with the melting metal. Yeah. But it's interesting, like if you watch Neo's face as well, she is a bit hesitant before she does it, a sort of grin, and I knew that was going to pop up. I told you the thumbnail was going to pop up.
Let's talk. It's you in a second. I love you. You're my new. You're my new. No, not my new. You're my
new Vernal.
I don't want to say that because I don't want to replace Vernal. You're my additional Vernal.
Additional Vernal.
That works. Kind of sounds slimy, but there's no point later in the episode where I might sound slimy as well, so that might be a thing. Please, I'm a good person, I swear. I just say dumb things. Context for that. But goodness. I did like that Neo was like hesitant, like learning that there's someone out there, like learning that Cinder has a master, but not probably learning too much about her, just a name more or less, and learning what the relic is, kind of thing. I tweeted out after that episode that it's really sad to think about that Neo would never be able to use the Relic of Knowledge. Because she'd never be able to summon
she wouldn't be able to say.
She can't say the name. I'm like, that's sad. I just feel like that's sad. Poor Neo. She deserves every bit of knowledge she would want.
Exactly.
She deserves everything. She's a good bundle of ice cream. She's a good girl.
Bundle of ice cream. But I still think I sort of get the feeling like Neo's watching Cinder, evaluating her, and I've got the feeling that she's still going to betray her at some point. She's just waiting for a moment. It
was very much a situation of everything is scaring the fuck out of her.
Yeah.
But when she realizes I can either kill RWBY or I can kill Cinder, it's like, you know what? It's like she's kind of looking at the positives, but she's definitely intimidated by everything else.
I think she's playing along as well. She goes, well, I can't kill Cinder now because she's way too powerful, so I'm just going to see where this goes.
Yeah.
Sort of
and
thing.
it does... we've been hinted at it before, but this does kind of tell us for sure that Salem doesn't want RWBY dead.
Yep.
Which been hinted at before, like Bring It to Me Alive.
Yes.
In Volume 4, and then in Volume 5 it was the value of others, and Cinder saying, why don't we kill RWBY? And Salem didn't give an answer, but she was just saying that, like, you know, manipulate the situation to your best. Don't just do what you want to do or easiest. Do what will help you in the long run the best. And now we get the confirmation in Volume 6 that no, for some reason, Salem doesn't want RWBY killed, and that ties into our next scene as well. Yeah. With certain speculations on certain characters and their connections to Salem. It's very interesting. I'm wondering, off the top of your head, what reason do you have to think why she wouldn't want RWBY, or maybe just silver-eyed people?
Well, I don't know if necessarily, like, I think she does want silver-eyed warriors dead in a way because they pose a threat. But I think the reason with RWBY is her history with Cinder, and she wants to probably use RWBY to her advantage with
It's a tool of motivation.
It's a tool of motivation, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we saw at the end of Volume 4, where Neo did the apparition of RWBY.
Emerald.
Yeah, it was Emerald. So, did the apparition of RWBY, and
that what motivated Cinder to recover.
So I have a feeling she's using her for that. But,
yeah, because I can't see what significance she'd really have. That's to Salem, at least. Like, really. Like, apart from being a silver-eyed warrior and a threat.
I think it's more the fact that Cinder absolutely hates her, and that's her drive. She wants to get revenge on RWBY. The only thing
I could think of is RWBY has another connection that we don't know of. Maybe to someone to Salem, or something to that degree.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
But maybe the conversation that Ozpin had with Salem in Volumes 1 and 3, was actually a conversation they had at some point.
Maybe.
Prior to Volume 1.
Yeah.
And maybe through that, Salem just realized that RWBY is the person Ozpin was talking about, and because of that, values RWBY alive because it's a weapon against Ozpin. But that would only work if that conversation was, and I guess there's no reason to assume it didn't. It just seems weird that it did, just considering the history. But if that conversation did actually happen at some point, maybe just prior to Volume 1, then that alone makes RWBY valuable because it's valuable to Ozpin. Because Ozpin, again, says simple soul and is referring to RWBY.
Yes.
Of course, at that point, he didn't know RWBY, but that's always been a weird thing how he doesn't know RWBY, but apparently knew Summer, but didn't know RWBY.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's an interesting development. I think there's more there that, you know, Ozpin, along with many other things, a lot of things that Ozpin might not be being super clear on. That. But that's a bit of a tangent. We've gone off there.
So, yes.
But yeah, they make up and they decide that we're going to Atlas. So not Argus, obviously, but they're
just going straight to Atlas because they may not know about RWBY's little detour and everything.
They don't know the detour, and even then, like, you know, they're going to get to Atlas eventually. So
yeah, that's where their end goal is. So they hope probably to get there first.
I'm curious how much of that we're going to see. If next time we see them is just when they're in Atlas, or if we're going to see them travel at some point. I'm not sure. I'm really interested to see how they're going to pace, because the villains is always something how they pace interestingly, because it always has less screen time, it always has less to do with, so it's always interesting what they choose to show us.
Yep.
In terms of the villains, especially we have 2 sets of villains right now.
Or 3 if you include Adam.
Yeah, that's true as well.
We still haven't seen since chapter 1, so...
That's true, but it's not like he hasn't, but at least he's been referred to a lot.
Yeah, he has been. Yeah.
Which I think is at least... Because, you think about, we haven't seen Adam in so long, but it's like, but he has been there in a sense. So I think it's a better form of pacing, because at least he's still relevant.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen him. So I think that's because, again, they realize that they can't show a character every volume, or a set of characters every volume. So they're implanting the idea of them throughout our main cast, so that way we at least keep them in our heads, so the pacing doesn't feel off.
Yeah.
Because they have so limited time to work with. But then we move into what was the E-Weekly scene that they showed off. That ended with the Nevermore crashing. Didn't go past that bit. The preview.
Yeah.
And the RWBY Rewind preview was the Cinder Neo talk.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Right before she mentions Salem. So it's just her swinging the knife and Neo turning around. That's all it was. So it was more like the establishing shot first.
Yeah.
And then it was like a sentence from Cinder. That was about it.
Yeah. So Yeah, Maria, the Grim Reaper.
Maria, the Grim Reaper.
I just love her design. It's interesting how she has a very similar outfit to RWBY, and possibly even Summer as well, with sort of the long sleeve dress with the corset, the cape as well.
Yeah, I love the hood.
I love the hood's cool.
The jagged pointed hood. I really like. Really like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
In terms of like, obviously we know connections between the scythe and the fighting style and that kind of thing. I wonder if maybe that was Crow putting, because obviously he knew about the Grim Reaper. So maybe that was like him, because obviously he's a guy and he just doesn't like hoods or capes, and that's he has a cape.
Well, he has the red cape. Yeah.
But maybe he's like, he doesn't want to wear capes and hoods and those kind of things, so he kind of like influenced that onto. I know Summer had it as well, but maybe Summer was also inspired by.
Summer may have been inspired.
So
when Crow was talking.
And again, I like the fact that RWBY doesn't know who the Grim Reaper is, but it's just generational inspiration, because like, you know, if you're inspired by someone, most likely they were inspired by someone else, but you just don't know that extra person above that. So I like how they've tied in. I like how it's not like everyone knew who the Grim Reaper was. It was like just Crow.
Yeah, it was just Crow. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's crossing the bridge, and Nevermore comes in. This is one of the best. Like, I haven't liked the Nevermores like since volumes like 1 almost. Something about the Nevermores I didn't like after then, but I liked the Nevermore here. It just looked right. It moved right.
Cool.
It just
massive.
Looked. I don't know what about it. It just seems like this seems like a Nevermore now.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones in like volume 4 at Kurayuri, and the ones we see flying around in volume 5 and the start of volume 6 just don't feel. They didn't have the same. Just the way they were animated, it didn't seem right.
Yeah.
But this was a Nevermore to me. Like this felt like Plays and Pieces a Nevermore from volume 1.
And how it flew into the bridge as well.
yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I didn't even think about that.
It did.
They got a skull, so like they can charge through stuff.
Yeah, well, this was just a wooden bridge in this case, but yes.
That's true. Well, it just shows that their mentality, that's a common thing that a lot of Nevermores do, is head dive.
Yep.
Like how a bird would like dive into water, grab a fish, fly out. That's maybe more of like an Australian kookaburra thing, but that's the thing. That's the thing our birds do.
They like swooping on things. Yes.
Fucking love. If people don't know what kookaburra is, you are seriously selling yourself short on wildlife. Love kookaburras. That I have not heard that in a long time. Australian things.
Anyway.
I love when they use dust more. So I love like the gravity dust
so
stuff.
It was gravity dust. I didn't really figure that out till later, like when I first watched it. Like, gravity dust, which was pretty cool.
Love that. I love that. Like I don't know if they're scythes or sickles, but like there's like small scythes.
They look like small scythes, but and
scythes, axes, sickles, something like that.
If you look closely as well, it seems to be like Maria's staff, because you got the skull and then the blades stuck out of it.
Yeah, I think it is Maria's staff.
It is basically Maria's staff, but with the blade on top.
Yep. Blade bit removed. Yeah, I'd 100%. Yeah, I think that's the case.
Which also makes me think if her staff still has gravity dust, because that would explain how she got down the well.
That's a very good point. I didn't think about that. That's really Yeah. They seem to like be gravity dust connected towards each other, but I guess you could still use it to like slow.
She might have been able to use it for some other.
That's true. Or she might have the second one. We just haven't seen it.
Maybe it's hidden under a cloak. But that's because I had some people saying on my reaction video like, how would such an old woman get down the well? Like, I've got maybe an idea how she met him.
Yeah, no, that's a really good.
Seen this episode.
That's a really good point. Actually, I really like that.
Yeah, so maybe she did, but so I like the fact though that it's her staff with the blades on top. So yeah.
Yeah, it's another example of RWBY disguising the weapons, like Oobleck's mug.
Yes. His flask that he has is his weapon.
Yeah, it's his weapon. So I like that they've done that.
And it just makes sense too.
Yeah, the fighting on everyone was really cool. Maria's aesthetic and just like her design is like something straight out of like my own OC work.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, damn it, now those ideas are in canon, so now I feel like it's less cool that my characters had it. Because I've always loved the idea of like using guns as propellants, and since like Maria, her guns were mainly for propellant, not necessarily as she used them as guns when she didn't have a choice.
She used them to help move around a bit like how RWBY does with.
But it was they were more momentum based, whereas Ruby's is momentum and gun based. Yang's are momentum and gun based. Her seems mainly momentum based, which I love that. So I have a character that has
the gravity dust. It was a good combination.
I have an OC character that has a similar idea, where the gun is more for momentum's sake. So I love that. Again, the sides were awesome.
The music was really cool. I love the music in this part of the music. Fight. It was great.
Maria's had really good music, because I love the tribe techno for old form, and she had like
this really sort of rock,
this classic alternative, just good rock. Like I don't know how
it was awesome. I just like
I was like music. Yeah, I was like, this is sick. I love this. This is awesome. I love this.
I'm pumped, ready for this fight.
It was so simple. It was such simple guitar riffs, but it was like, this is fucking awesome.
I think it's gonna be one of my favorite scores out of the soundtrack. I think.
But it was just so simple. But I love they did it. It was so good.
Yeah, it was so good.
I love how she would use the gravity dust to pull the Nevermore into rocks and stuff. That was really cool. Have it crash, and it's more the idea that Maria mentions later, that she was very confident. She was very cocky. And again, she thought she killed Nevermore, and she didn't.
Nope.
Went on to attack her, lost her sives, and then she used her silver eyes. And I love one because when I saw her at the mask at first, I thought maybe she'd already lost her eyes at this point, because her eyes were covered. So I'm like, maybe she already had lost her eyes. But then silver shines through. And I love that it turned it to stone, because I said that since day one with the dragon.
Yes,
that
the dragon
it was frozen, and I immediately thought, like Medusa, frozen to stone. Yeah. I thought it was that, or frozen in time, which is kind of I just didn't think, I knew it wasn't ice.
Yeah.
Like I know a few people with Winter Maiden at the end of Volume 3 for RWBY because it was frozen to ice.
No, it was just.
But no, I like that it was
frozen in place than actually literally
frozen in place, and I thought either through time or stone. So I like that it was in stone. So it seemed like the silver eyes can have a concussive effect, which is just like a concussive blast. It can have a stone effect for bigger Grim, and then smaller Grim it can disintegrate Grim.
Well,
so
I think with the
3 levels.
Apathy, that they probably didn't have enough to actually freeze them properly, the stone, because they were basically all sinewy and such. So I think the blast just annihilated them, while with the Nevermore it's more solid, more to it, so it just turned to stone instead. Yeah, I have also seen the idea that because Maria was praising the girls like Yang and RWBY a lot in the scene after this, that maybe, and because of Maria's surprise in episode 6, that maybe Maria could never do that. She was never that strong enough with the eyes to obliterate the Grim, only freeze them to stone, whereas RWBY had the strength to destroy them. I got an idea about that, which I'll mention when we get to that scene, as to why she was sort of praising the girls in particular. I've gone very back and forth on what that meant. So I have a few ideas on that as well. Yeah, but then of course we got the bandits, assuming bandits look like bandits, and Tok, who I think is a bandit as well, will make sense with her metal teeth. Yeah, okay, so this is one thing I was really interested to ask you. What do you think Tok is? Like, I know she's a crocodile faunus, but well, I didn't really think of the crocodile faunus, but that actually makes a lot of sense. She's based off the crocodile from Peter Pan, who's like an old-timey crocodile with a clock. I haven't watched Peter Pan in a long time. Okay, so... But apparently that's her influence. Yeah, I'm a little rusty with Peter Pan, but I think he's followed a pocket watch or something, as well as he's like one of Hook's arms. I think he took Hook's arm along with the pocket watch, and it makes this tick-tock sound whenever the crocodile's nearby, which freaks out Hook. Okay. Yeah, so that makes sense with the pocket watch and her faunus. I recognised she was a faunus, but I wasn't sure particular type. A crocodile makes sense. Because the scale's always harder to tell what kind of faunus they are. But she's a Cockney crocodile faunus. I loved her accent. It was so cool. I love the accent because I always think that's like a form of an Australian accent. Yeah. And I have a British friend who hates it when I say that, because no, it's a fucking it's an East London Cockney accent. I'm like, it kind of sounds Australian, but English and Australian accents are derivative from each other, so that makes sense. They sound similar. You can always tell a character is so good, at least for me, when I see a character and I immediately want to go play a role-playing game at Skyrim and make a character based off. I've wanted to play Skyrim for a week now. Yeah. I haven't had the time to, because I've been either art or Christmas stuff. But I've wanted to go play Skyrim and have like a character that's like a lizard or like an orc, and just have a character that's like, and roleplay as with that accent. So I love that. I love when characters. I love the design too. Maria as well. Maria wants me to made me want to play Skyrim again as well, just to have a character like that. Yeah. But what I wanted to ask really at first was, what greater role do you think Tok is? Do you think she's just a bandit, or do you think she's more? Well, I think because she talked about her master wanting because with her Maria's eyes, so calls Salem. It makes me think Salem's employed Tok to get rid of Maria. So whether she's just a bandit or a hired hand, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But she seems very much like a bandit to me.
Okay. So my thoughts was, now that you've mentioned that, because I didn't think of that. I've mentioned one or two things. So what you said, I thought maybe she's like a Raven character where like they've approached her and said like, hey, help us or perish. Yeah. Kind of like they did with Raven. And Raven, again, sided with Salem, but wasn't one of Salem's minions, but just, again, she was cheating them for an end, but she was working for Salem as a bandit kind of thing, like a third-party hire, almost, for Salem during the Battle of Haven. I thought Tok was more like a Tyrion 0.5, like that generation's Tyrion, because, assumingly, at the very least, I think she's had allies for 80 years since the schools were built, since the Great War.
Yeah, she probably would have
at least since
allies.
then, if not before then.
Yeah,
I think at least she's had cronies since then.
Yeah,
because like Osborne had the headmasters and the school, so that's when Salem decided she needed her own little lieutenants. Yeah. So then she got like a brute, a smart guy, a maiden candidate, and a crazy person, and she's kind of kept those archetypes maybe.
Yeah.
So a generation or two prior to Tyrion was Tok. So it might have been Tok, killed, got a replacement, died, then got Tyrion. Just around the age, trying to like the ages kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, absolutely.
So I really like that idea that she's just a predecessor to Tyrion.
Yeah, basically. She's just one of Salem's allies or lackeys. Yeah,
another one of disposable ones that just got killed and replaced over time.
Yeah.
So I like that idea a lot. But also, like just like a hired gun for Salem who isn't a part of like a Roman. Kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I think either that or an ally, but either one of the two. But Salem probably just saw that she was useful.
There's also the idea that could be another party who doesn't like Silver Eyes. So that's possible as well. I wouldn't be against that. But I like the idea of her being just a previous minion of Salem, because I assume she's had many, other than the four we know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I say she's had many over the generations, over the years. Yeah.
And Melanie confirmed on Twitter, which I didn't see this tweet at first. I saw people talking.
I didn't see it till later. Yeah.
I missed the tweet, but I saw people talking about it. Then I went back and found the tweet that her semblance is invincibility.
Yes.
And I love this because obviously it kind of falls into question the difference between this and aura.
Yeah.
I like it, and I didn't notice it during the fight, but I did notice the aura looked significantly different.
Yeah,
so
it did. It looked more solid.
Is this a new effect?
Yeah.
But then Maria's was the normal effect we saw previously.
Yeah. The blue figure, which I missed during my reaction, but
no, I didn't see it. I barely, because it was very quick the first time it happened, or the one time it happened. It was very quick. It was like a quick.
It was. She was on when she got knocked to the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't realize it at first, but then when I went back and watched it, I noticed she was deliberately like headbutting the scythe, and I'm like, even with aura, that's still a dangerous tactic. But then I realized, because she was invincible, and that's why.
Invincible. And she was only able to do it for 60 seconds, and that's how she had the timer on the clock, so she knew how long
to remind herself. Yeah. Or again, just a lot of really subtle, like this is like literally a role playing character, like so many subtle little details that just flesh out the character that are obvious. That like a real world character is like, oh, well, that's too obvious. But like that's the point of a role playing character. You got to make those things obvious and stick to those tactics, just to kind of do the character really well.
Yeah.
So I really liked it. Always kind of thought of the question of like, we've discussed aura multiple times on the podcast and like how it works, stabbing, bullets, bashing, damage, how it affects aura kind of thing. And I'm kind of wondering like, would an aura stop you from being able to like, sorry, be a bit gruesome here, like to snap someone's neck, would an aura make that harder?
Maybe if they were
like, would it just like, be more like a harder thing to do? Or would that fall out of not being aura protected?
Well, I guess also at times aura needs to be sort of like activated in a way as well. Yeah. So I guess if they were purposely activating their aura, it could help.
Yes. And the act of
depends
trying.
On the strength.
Yeah, or would the act of trying damage the aura, or because it wasn't a direct?
It probably would, in a way. I think like damage the aura. Like, I
guess like when you like twist a rope and like
it
gets weaker over time, even if you're not pulling tighter. Just that in that state weakens it, I guess. So yeah, I was just that was tying into more something else I was thinking of, but just since we're on topic of like aura and invincibility.
Yeah. I thought it was I thought it was really cool that she was basically invincible for 60 seconds and So she could take risks without worry of getting injured or killed herself. So she was able to do some of those really daring things, and in the end, of course, bite Maria's staff in half after it connected. I love how
I love that so much.
they connected and spun. I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. I want to make this weapon.
Again, one of my other OC characters like has like a sword that turns into a staff, so I love that kind of.
I love that. That's so cool.
I love dual wielding. I just love not dual wielding. I love just like double-handed weapons, like staves like that. I love that.
I love Maria's fighting style, moving around with the gravity weapons as well. So
Melanie, who mentioned her Tox invincibility semblance. Also, this was her first fight that she fully led herself.
Okay, cool.
Like she was fully in charge of this fight. Like she didn't animate it all herself, but she was the one who kind of led it.
The lead animator for it, I suppose.
It was such a good fight.
It was really cool.
And it actually went for a minute. I didn't realize that till Arnold mentioned it, that it actually did go for a minute. It actually went for 60 seconds. And I was like, that was so good.
It was so good.
Oh, I loved it so much. And it made sense. The characters were fighting. She was blocking bullets with her weapons like we know they can do. I don't know what Maria's semblance is. We don't know what that is, I don't think.
No, I don't know. Unless it was something linked with the gravity dust, but...
yeah, I think that's possible. Or she just might not know what a semblance is.
Or it could be one that she's just not actively... Well, whenever we're close to bad luck, it might be something like that.
Some semblances can be nothing, really.
Some semblances are not necessarily used in combat.
Speaking of which, because I just want to mention this last thing about Tok.
Yeah.
So I love that it's clear that Salem likes characters that have significant powers. Like... In terms of like, Hazel can't feel pain. Emerald has really overpowered illusion powers, so that's why she's keeping her around.
Yeah.
Tok can
do the invincibility.
Like she clearly she clearly likes getting cronies that are strong in a semblance as well, which is a nice little.
Stand out in a way.
Yeah.
Like a strong semblance.
Like we still don't know what Cinder's semblance is. I guess at this point, even though I assume it's just glass. Like I know that RWBY said it wasn't, but I assume at this point it might be easier to say it is. I don't think we know what Tyrion's is.
No, unless it's something... Well,
something of the poison, but I don't think...
Because his eye colour changed, but we don't,
Yeah, Watts we don't know. Might have some hacking semblance or something to do with technology, maybe.
It could be.
Yeah, but I love the fight. The fight was really cool, and like there were scenes where like Tok was like throwing her sword up and then catching it. Like it was really quick. Like again,
I need to go over rewatch it more and just stop it every few seconds. It was like
once you could tell what everything's happening. RWBY now is a lot faster, but it's gotten to the point where it's still as good. You just need to watch it a few more times to kind of because you'll miss stuff.
Yeah, some fight scenes are sort of slower paced when then you get ones like this where there's a lot happening and some very faster.
But it was still done so well.
Absolutely, and I like how Tok broke Maria's jeweled scythe
very
with her teeth and then headbutted her.
It was just something about a weapon getting cut in half.
Yeah.
It was very Star Wars.
Yeah.
Very like Phantom Menace. Like a dual-wielded weapon, a weapon getting cut in half. Just very, very Phantom Menace vibes I got from here. And even Tok as well, like had like spikes and scales and stuff, so it was all kind of like very Phantom Menace like. And then the headbutt the invisibility headbutt to the mask and then just slash. And huge props obviously to Melissa for the voice work because the screams in particular.
The scream!
When I first heard those were gut-wrenching.
It was a gut-wrenching scream, and I think it was done so well too.
She goes into a lot of detail because she was on RWBY Rewind. She goes into a lot of details this week on that.
Yeah.
On the on like her voice work for old Maria and then how it transitioned into young Maria, because she does both.
Yeah.
And then what it was like doing those screams and stuff, and how much like she enjoyed it, and how like. So I think she said she was like 8 months pregnant at the time.
Oh, really?
I believe so.
Okay.
Which is confusing because now we have Lindsay Jones, Lindsay Shepherd, and Melissa. Like, there's a lot of people who are like Lindsay or pregnant right now, so it's all kind of like I might get confused between the names.
Oh no.
A lot of voice actors right now are very similar.
Hopefully it's not a sign.
But yeah, so poor girl is having to do those kind of screams while she's 8 months pregnant. Although, to be fair, they trapped Lindsay into a gas chamber on a recent Achievement Horn episode, and she was 8 months pregnant. I haven't seen that. And she was bloody like in a gas chamber with stink bombs. Like, you're gonna hurt the baby.
Nah, I'm sure it was safe.
Achievement Horn is great shit, but it's crazy. So yeah, and then we get like and we saw too like how confident Maria was in this fight.
Yes.
You know, like you don't know who I am. You're the Grim Reaper. Kind of thing like that, and it was all just really well just awesome stuff.
It's just the way she was fighting you. She was very overconfident, and unfortunately,
yeah, like she was very flashy and stuff. Whereas like Tok was like very fast paced, very aggressive. Because she only had 60 seconds, she needed to make sure she actually won in that time.
Yeah, and it was a close one, as she said. Yeah,
close one. Yeah, and it seemed like her aura completely turned off after. It was like the drawback. Like it does. Well, I get it. That because semblance uses your aura pool.
Yeah.
So kind of like it does when semblance would turn off, it would until they waste all of her aura, and they have to wait for it to rebuild back up.
Absolutely.
So she does have a regular aura.
Yeah.
But she uses
semblance
to use all that aura power for a 60 of invincibility. So yeah, aura would deactivate afterwards until it refreshed itself after how long.
So it makes a lot of sense. That's the fullback. So she's able to be invincible for 60 seconds, but then she has no aura.
But then would run out of aura afterwards because that 6 seconds uses all the energy she had left.
Yeah.
Then we have again. Then she's the cocky one who's like, my master. He wants to kill you because your eyes.
Oh, you might be able to convince me to let you live, sort of thing.
Let you live, kind of thing. And then Maria again using her guns just out of desperation.
Yep.
To no avail. Then throws the scythe at her for one last ditch effort.
Yep.
And it's like,
that was also part of her plan because then it was in her direction.
I don't think that was intentional, but she realized it once she did it.
I think it was just before she threw it. Yeah.
Well, because I said afterwards, because after she threw it, then she had the moment of realization where she's like, oh, wait a second.
Where's my yeah, that's true.
And then pulls back. So I don't think it was deliberate to pull it back. It was just kind of. Okay. But then she adapted in the moment and realized that was a good idea. Yeah. I like that again. That she's like a bad guy, but she has respect and honor kind of thing. Where it's like I respect that fight to the end. Yeah. All the weapons they were like very kind of like Winter-esque because they were scimitar. They were like scimitar.
Again, it makes sense if she's Peter Pan, of course, with the
the pirate swords, similar to Scarlet, who's Peter Pan, and also Winter, who has similar rapier kind of swords as well.
Yeah.
Fight to the end and scythe to the back, gravity dust, and just beheaded. Someone had mentioned that. I'm curious to see what happened after that, assuming the bandits weren't dead. Got up and got away, or the bandits ran away.
They probably ran away, I'd say, after Tok was dead.
But again, there's some things like, some things are just best left unanswered necessarily.
How she got out of there is also another question.
But then we flash forward back to present time, and we get and she wasn't a fighter. She ran into hiding after that. She disappeared, and I like this thing. Like, I like that Crow knows her. Like, I really like this idea. It makes me wish that we got a mention of her once in previous volumes. Yeah. Like, just a name drop of, it's like, oh, if only you were as good as the Grim Reaper. Like, I just wish we had in the earlier volumes.
Yeah.
But, again, we've come to the conclusion that Maria is probably a more recent introduced character to the story, since Lindsay didn't know anything about her until, she started doing voices for us. So it wasn't, a long-term thing, I don't think. But, like Neo, this is a great short-term character to chuck in there, because awesome, and I love it so much. She's so cool.
Yeah, she's very cool. And because Crow's like, oh, you're the Grim Reaper. I base my weapon off you. I want to be as good as the Grim Reaper.
Yeah,
and
that was really, really cool like that. And again, it just connects to, because you always think oh, man, all these characters are similar, but it's they all get inspired by this one other person. And it's just, it's one of those things where it doesn't seem out of character for Crow, but again, would have been nice to have something alluded towards that beforehand. But, we've always called Ruby the Grim Reaper.
Yes.
And Crow the Grim Reaper because, again, they're scythe wielders who kill Grim. So it's really nice kind of putting everything together. That, Ruby doesn't know who this is, but Crow did, and then Crow influenced Ruby.
Yeah.
Really nice, just a pipeline of inspiration that's... I just really like it. I don't know how much to say than that. It's just really cool. A nice element to the story that I actually really
I thought it was cool. Yeah, I thought it was nice.
And then, it's like, well, I'm a disappointment. You're following suit. So
you're well on your way.
Which again I like that as well, because again, Maria is clearly it's interesting how she kind of is like a very carefree old lady, but she's quite bitter. Yeah. Because she doesn't like being told what to do.
No.
And she isn't a fan of Crow or anything like that, and doesn't want to inspire people and doesn't want to be this mentor thing. The Silver Eyes are a different case because she realizes how significant they are, but just in terms of as a huntress, she doesn't want to be an inspiring huntress, but she's willing to be an inspiring silver-eyed warrior. Yeah,
well, hopefully she didn't get to respond to Ruby.
Yeah, but just before that, before we get into the phone call, I love the mention that you shouldn't aspire to be like me. Some of you are stronger than me already. Now, at first, I thought this was just going off. One, I thought this was directly aimed at Yang.
Yeah.
Which, at first I was like, well, she is the strongest of the 4, I feel like.
I think, I'm talking to Yang. Yang lost her arm. She's still fighting.
That's what she was referencing.
Yeah, that's what I sort of gathered it was referencing.
That is what she was referring to, that your disability, you haven't stopped, where it stopped me. That's what she was talking about. But I like the idea that Yang, I think, is the strongest of the 4 girls, as a huntress, I would think. I've always had the idea that, she's the daughter of Raven, who I've always said is the best huntress in the world.
Possibly. But we still don't know,
I know. I just like the idea of...
Yeah.
Like the idea of just being told that these characters are better, and they do it again later in the episode, that these characters are better than most huntsmen, professional huntsmen. That's how good these kids are.
Yeah.
And it's something that the story hasn't told us too much, which is why I always get like, man, these are kids in the situation.
Yeah.
We're the real huntsmen to do this. And it's going back to the idea that a lot of huntsmen just either go independent or just don't live that long. A huntsman is not... You don't retire as a huntsman unless you're a teacher. Not. That's kind of the only exception. If you become a teacher, you can retire. But if you don't, you go to your die. Which seems to be youngish. Which is, Roman mentioned that back in Volume 3. Granted, that wasn't in that context, but it's still a context I like to draw comparisons to. But I just like the idea that these characters are really good. And Yang especially is really, really, really good. I like to think, at least. Just compared to maybe what you saw from Yang on the train.
Yeah. Thank you for the host.
So, yeah. But I do think, looking back on it, she was referring to the disability thing.
Yeah. I think so. And not necessarily disability, the fact that Yang lost her arm, but she's able to continue.
Stop her.
Yeah. It didn't stop her, while Maria losing her eyes stopped her. Even after her surgery, she couldn't go back and fight. Yeah.
Which I like as much, but I'd like to think it's almost both. But that's just how I enjoy the idea more if it's both. But I completely understand. I think
that was the main reasoning behind it.
Yes, I do.
And but you've seen the others fighting as well, and also like them in general. They're very strong and and but it also does do the right thing.
Like I said, it does. You got to remember, like, these kids have to be really good.
Yeah.
For them to be in this position, otherwise it'd be other people. So they have to, and again, like I say later in the episode, Crow mentioned that these kids are better than we were at their age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which extends to Juniper as well. Because we're a lot closer to August than we thought.
Yeah, I loved the squirrel. So Ruby's got to have Vomit Boy on it. I loved how happy and excited Jean was on the phone. Oh, Ruby, I'm
I loved it.
I just loved that. It was great.
It just makes me wonder though. They're only separated for like a day or 2.
Yeah, but they're worried.
They weren't separated for very long. Yeah. They crashed rather close to August.
So at least 2 days, I'm thinking, because they had one night. So yeah, it's probably close to 2 days. Yeah. Yeah,
which is kind of like this reunion was so much, in my opinion, more impactful than the RWBY reunion, either of them in Volume 5. And this one's only 2 days.
Yeah, I think it's because.
But the reunion seems like more significant because I don't know. I like the Weiss and Yang hug. Like that was really awesome. But I don't know, something about Jean and RWBY meant so much more to me.
Yeah, I love that hug with Jean and RWBY.
That was so good, and he almost cried. I loved it. I almost cried at that scene. I did almost cry at that scene when they reunited. I will say it's just because I'll mention it now because I'm sure people have mentioned before, like the idea when Yang's at the top of the hill and looking down. It's like that's a steep hill.
Yeah, I said that to her. I was like, how are we gonna get down there?
I'm sure you were fuming when she was driving up that hill in snow with the bike. I'm sure you were just fuming.
I was more excited about possibly seeing Argus than to be too.
I loved Argus. Had a very Bossing Say wall from Avatar. Very well protected. San Francisco vibe with the train carts. I was surprised there wasn't a visible train line going into the city, but I guess maybe that was an underground train line.
It may have been. It may have been underground. That would make more sense. Or through a tunnel through the mountains, and then
yeah. I was just expecting to see like a visible train line going into the city, but we did. But yeah, I assume it went underground before.
Hey, Smash! Greeting nerds and Imperials. We're just talking about Argus now. The Argus part.
Yeah, we're just getting into the Argus stuff, and I want someone mentioned this to me. I think it's a complete coincidence, but I'm just saying it because again I want to get every detail in this stream.
Yes. That
we can. The number that Yang puts into the machine when she locks up her bike. 458.
Yeah, 458. Yeah.
Which is the phone language for ILU.
Oh God.
Which is like,
Of course
oh,
it is. Of
of
course it is.
Of course it is. Because just why the fuck not? You know, why the fuck not?
I knew it'd have some reference because we saw her punching the numbers in, but I didn't think it'd be that.
A better number reference,
Yes.
I think, a better one was the license plate was the date in which the episode released.
Yes.
It was like 12, it was like 8, 12, 18.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there we go, that's nice.
That's cool.
12, 8, 8, 12.
No, I think it was the other way because it was American, so... Anyway, yeah.
Americans with your weird dates, your weird miles, and your weird degrees.
Yes.
Fucking Americans.
We love you.
We do love you. We really do.
I love, like, the city was so bustling. We had the theatre as well, which was cool.
Yeah. So what was that, sorry?
The theatre. Did you see the sign, the posters at the theatre?
Yes, and the posters, yes.
So there was the Fall of Beacon, which is probably a documentary.
Beyond the Deep or something, like a shark one.
Yeah, it looked almost like Jaws sort of thing, but it's probably Grim of the Deep or something.
Maybe it's like a reference to Shallow Sea, maybe?
Oh, I do.
The fairy tale? Shallow Sea fairy tale, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
But I loved it. Obviously, it had a very San Francisco vibe.
Yes.
I think it snows in San Francisco, but I love the visual.
It does, doesn't it?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It had a bit of a Christmassy vibe to it too, I thought.
It did, which is nice because the time of year the episode obviously releases.
Let's just see if I can
it was very City Skylines, which is a video game like SimCity, because you can make obviously you make cities in that game, and I've made a city that's very hilly, that's like snow. So I immediately just thought of like City Skylines when I saw this.
Okay, so we had Demon of the Deep.
Yep.
The Fall of Beacon.
Hmm?
Tryst of the Mist.
Yep.
Which actually looks like it's got a bit of like Mistral there, like yeah. And then the other one which you can't see, which I saw someone say it was Genlock. It says coming soon. It's Genlock poster. The Tryst in the Mist premiere tonight, Argus Theatre. Yeah, that was really cool.
Because I couldn't make out what that said, but then I realised that was the one that was on the sign above.
Everyone's walking around, like, the women are wearing dresses, and how
again,
did it feel the cold?
It's just a thing, aura just must not be a big thing when it comes to aura and cold
I
and stuff
need
like that.
an aura case, I could do with the cold here, seriously.
Yeah. But I also, I love the world building. It was a lot of re-establishment of World of Remnant stuff, but I think at this point they're trying to like, get all that stuff in the actual show. Because not everyone watches World of Remnant, so I think there's kind of like, again, Ren has become very much an exposition character, which I don't even mind at all. I think it's just funny quirk, it's just funny gimmick. It just talks a lot of stuff that we already know.
Like, it was the biggest non-capital city.
Capital City, Mistral and Atlas come together, and the trades between the two continents, which we got in the World of Remnant and stuff.
And all settlers from Atlas who helped really brought the city to life and helped to adapt to the cold climate. But also gave Solitos supplies that they didn't have. Yeah, and trade.
But until recently, we've obviously a lot of the stuff Leo mentioned back in Volume 1.
Yes.
Volume 5, Episode 1, Volume 5.
Yeah.
The real bad
I think the Atlas is still there defending the city, but the trade link between Argus and Atlas is no longer there.
Yeah, Atlas is still in Argus, but not in Mistral.
Yeah, they're not trading, because Nora was saying until recently. So I think the Atlas is still there. It's just
it's basically just like Atlas is on its island doing its own thing, and then there's Argus, basically.
Yeah, basically. Which
is basically just Anima at this point, Mistral kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love all the details. There were a few like little. I hate picking this stuff up, but since I thought about it, like during the train ride, there were a few like little just like one-off lines, like Oscar saying, "Whoa."
There's the guy chasing the tram as well.
Yeah, the guy chasing the tram.
The tram as well. I go, hey!
There's like, I don't know, something about a lot of the reactionary lines I had in this just seemed off to me.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, Oscar hasn't been like.
Yeah, I know, I get that, but it'd be really hard to build a city out here. Well, until Atlas showed up, and Oscar's just like a second later, whoa, and that was it. Like, I assume I'd be referencing to like something he saw, like something else, or that. It was just, I don't know, it was just a weird thing. Yeah. I don't know. And then like Ruby's like, just I don't know, something with that train ride, the reactions just.
Ruby was just happy and excited, of course. Yes.
Just something I noticed. Hopefully, no one else did. Hopefully, no one else thought it weird.
So then they say, of course, we've been saying after they get off the train, and there's Saffron with little baby Adrian. Saffron is beautiful. I love Ruby's reaction. He goes, "Oh, she's your sister." So that
And
was
like,
awesome.
and like Nora, like, I'll give you the rundown later.
Yeah.
I love their interactions. They're so cute with each other. And again, like she's, like, we were discussing this. She's likely like 8 to 10 years her elder.
Yeah.
Years elder.
She's the eldest,
seem
we
like...
assume, from what we could gather from the conversation. She's the
I
eldest sister.
just realized I kept thinking she was like 26, 27. John's 19, so she'll be like...
She'd be about my age. She'd probably be about
30.
29, 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize it. And she looks like RWBY's age almost.
Almost. But, yeah. She's got a lot of vibrancy to her.
Yeah, she's very childish and like she's a free spirit. That's why she left when she did.
Yeah. So she got out of there as soon as she could.
Yeah, I saw some people saying that the idea that they all still live together. Like, no, I just think they all still live in the Vale.
Yeah.
I don't think the family all still live under one roof.
Oh god.
I just think that's like, well, maybe, but I think it's more like they all just stayed in the local area. Whereas like Jean went to Beacon.
Yeah.
And she moved over to August.
We don't know that they were in Vale, though. I'm still thinking that they were in Mistral. Yeah, in
They could
Anima.
live in Anima. That's true.
I think they would, because they visited Shion. Apparently, they used to visit Shion.
Yeah, like they've travelled around east, western Anima.
So I think it will make sense.
They come from.
We start from moving to Argus.
And then
Jean went to Beacon. So I say the others are probably in a similar sort of area to where the actual home base is.
They could just live somewhere on the Vale coast, or somewhere on the Saunus coast, or somewhere on the Anima coast.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
They'll be somewhere in between. Probably Mistral and
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. I love the family portrait too. That was so cute. You got John sitting there with pigtails saying help.
I think it was Kato Dan's who one was a camp reference, one were twins, one was a smart one.
Yes.
Do you think Saffron was the eldest one in the back?
I think she's the eldest one in the back.
Yeah, I think Dan said it was the one lying next to her. Like, I thought she was the one in the back.
Yeah, maybe she. I think she's the one at the back. Yeah,
I thought. Sure. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. That's what I thought as well.
Otherwise, the one sort of laying on the back of the couch, maybe. But I'm leaning more towards the one at the back. But
I also did just post a Saffron art piece today. If you want to go check that out, that's on my Twitter. I haven't seen it yet. Not, that's just there. Lindsay, the voice actress, liked it a lot, so that was always a good plus when the voice actress liked the artwork. But back to more important stuff.
I want to go see this now, just because I want to see it.
What was that?
I want to see it. Where? There we are. I found it.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to really see it because of the... there we go.
There we go. Yeah. Got the arc symbol as well. I like that.
Yes.
Just trying to think. I really... she also had a very simple design, but she was just so cute. Like, she was just a really well designed character. I'm trying to think of how to say that. I want to be as like mature about this as I can be. Like, obviously, like, she was... I don't know, do you see like a...
What do you want to say?
I don't know. Something about her model. Like, her legs seemed really, like... She like really, like, big. Like, when she was sitting down, she's like, I'm not trying to be weird or anything like that. I'm just saying, like... She looked quite thick, I thought.
Okay. Yeah.
In the legs, and especially when she walked off and she had like a very nice butt shot. I'm just saying, she's very attractable. I'm sorry. I'm straight. I'm sorry. I know she's not, but I'm just saying, and that's what I'm saying. That's cool. Love her. I love that she's LGBT. That's really awesome. I actually love that. But if there's any one time where I'm upset by it, it is this one case. But not in a mean way, just in like a damn it kind of way.
Wrong tree.
Wrong tree. Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Her design seemed quite particularly attractive, I think.
Yes. Yeah. No, she was very attractive. And I want to say before we move on to the next bit, is that Jean saying, "I'm not a baby. That is a baby."
That was amazing. Just the animation and the voice acting, like
that is a baby.
And Adrian's like. And they're like Yang and Weiss, like,
oh, baby. That's cute. I love it.
I always love. It's very common in RWBY seasons where they get something and they latch onto it.
Yeah.
Like in this season, like the eyes is their big thing. Like you'll see like eye patterns, eye shapes, eye reflections. Like they'll happen a lot in a season.
Yeah. In
Volume 3, it was the crackle on the ground. Like Crow did it, Ironwood did it. Aslan did it in the fight. Like that's they used the animation a few times. In Volume 5, there was the particle effect from the snow grim. They used that on the actual grim. So They always get like a thing, and they always
Thing.
reuse that. Like, but this one seems like just the eyes.
Eyes, yeah.
Because there's so many different times.
Being
the
very
eyes,
expressive
big,
with the
big
eyes.
expressive.
And the faces in general being very more expressive.
Yeah.
Expressionate.
I loved. Although we've got to mention too, I love the interactions when they all did reunite.
Yes.
Of like,
that is true. Yep.
like Ren and Yang hug.
Yep.
And like Blake and Weiss went to talk to Jean. Like I like the interactions they did.
Yep.
They did the encore ones, which I really really liked. I saw Neef tweet out draw a picture of Ren and Yang.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, I love this so much. Nora's gonna come break my legs now.
And they call it Sunflowers. Is that our
Sunflowers.
actual shipping name?
I believe so.
Yang
I believe that's correct.
Sunflowers. That's
Sunflowers.
pretty. I like it.
Yeah, it's really nice. It was a really nice little detail to chuck in the characters that we did see of each other.
Yeah.
And like I said, the John Ruby was just amazing.
I like how Nora's like, what's with the old lady?
Yeah, and also, Cute Boy Oz. I love the callback to Cute Boy Oz. That was so awesome. I love that. Poor Oscar.
The bump.
Oh, poor kid. And yeah, the old lady was the awesome one too. Back to the house.
Yes.
Then we get introduced to Terra Cotter Arc.
Yes.
Terra first name, Cotter Arc hyphen the second name.
Yeah. So
I love the hyphen name. We haven't seen that in RWBY before.
No.
A hyphen.
Well, it makes sense with their last name. So, and I noticed in the credits that I had it was Saffron Cotter Arc, Adrian Cotter Arc.
They all had
Terra
the hyphen
Cotter.
names.
They had
And of course, a lot of people obviously are taking this as like, and it's really good they do have representation. That's awesome. And I mean, I don't know if I've said it before. Like to me, it doesn't matter either way.
You know what I really loved about this, right? Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Same-sex couple, absolutely love.
Yep,
What I love the most about this, how normal it was.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely normal. Oh, this is my wife, Terra. Hi, hello. Come help me in the kitchen. It was so normal. They're sitting on the couch just with holding hands.
At all. Wasn't an agenda.
No.
Wasn't a thing.
It was just
like
normal.
It was just casual. And there was, it wasn't a character that was made LGBT for any reason. Sure, we don't know. But assumingly, there's no reason not to believe this character was always meant to be LGBT. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah. It was a thing. It was casual. There was no issues about it. Again, some people who are a bit more prideful of their sexuality will take this as a bit of an agenda and be like, oh, representation. Or people who are against the agenda will be like, oh, they just chuck this in for fan service or whatever. To me, it doesn't.
Yeah, I think what people are trying, and not thinking about it at the moment, it's trying hard, so it's hard to grasp, is that this is a fantasy world. Remnant is not our society. This is a fantasy world, and is it such a shock to think that this could be normal? To them, it's normal. Same-sex couples are normal. It's just normal part of society. People with animal horns and things, they don't see them as normal. So so in World of Remnant, same-sex couples are normal.
Yeah, and it's not a thing. It's not an agenda. It's not anything. It's just that's just the person you happen to like, whether they're the same as you or not. It doesn't matter. And I'm the exact same way I feel the exact same way in the real world. That's why when I see all these things, all these posts about gay pride, I'm like, cool. Good for you. But I don't give a crap because it doesn't matter either way to me. That's why it annoys me when people get overly prideful of it. I completely understand why, and you have every right to be.
Yeah.
Because I know you've had a lot more hardships than I have had, or my kind has had. I get that. But it's just to me where it's like, it shouldn't matter either way.
We shouldn't need to have
at all.
it, and then there shouldn't need to be the hate. Well, in Remnant, it's just normal. It's just part of normal society.
In particular in Remnant, because it's a show that is has as many different as not our world, so it should be completely different.
Yeah, it's just normal. It's from what we've seen, it appears to be a normal thing, and it's just part of normal society. So But,
I will say it is nice to see a very happy and healthy family. There was no issues, there was no nothing, there was no
happy.
Some
and
people have speculated the idea that Terra might be something meaner than she let off, or something to that degree, but I see where that comes from, walking in last minute, running off for a phone call, asking Saffron to come into a room by themselves.
Nah.
But at the same time, I don't think so.
I don't think
and
so.
She has a connection to Atlas, so there might be something there. But
I'm hoping that with her connection, maybe with Atlas, that might help the team with getting to Atlas. But
rather than it being a negative plot point kind of thing. But even if it is, the fact that she is lesbian or bi shouldn't matter in that regard at
No, it
all.
doesn't matter. No.
You know, which is one thing I'm really glad people didn't blame Ilya for. People weren't mad that the first lesbian character is a bad guy.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything about that at least. So I'm glad that wasn't an agenda people brought up.
Nah.
And neither here either.
Yeah, exactly.
I did really like. So no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I have seen a lot of hateful things about Saffron and Terra, which it saddens me. But I think people are just missing the point of the fact that it's in Remnant, it's normal. It's just normal, and they're not, and they're just showing the world of Remnant as it is. And do they really want to change it to not to fit other people's views? No, they're just showing the world as it is and how they perceive the world as it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem, and this is, I'm going to say this, and this is 100% my problem. This is not anything to do with the situation. This is my problem that I have. Not even that I have, this is a problem that I need to figure out. Is that I never have a problem with people bashing or being crude or just being sexist or whatever, because I ignore that. It's like, you're just dumb.
Yeah.
If you're not, again, this is coming from a Christian.
Yeah.
Like, no, just let people do whatever they want. It does not matter. Sexuality does not matter. It only matters to the people in said relationship.
Yeah.
So, for example, like, if I have a friend who could potentially be a partner, their sexuality does not matter at all until that potential is near realized. You know, and then it becomes, okay, are you lesbian, gay, or bi? And then you go on from there, and that's only when that should matter. So I have no problem at all with if people bashing on. I mean, like, people bashing on it, like, to me, is like, ignore you. You're not worth attention.
Exactly. Yeah.
What bugs me more, and this is my problem, where it's just like when people are so prideful of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
It just seems like it comes off as an agenda to me.
Yeah.
Again, I understand why, because again, it's now much more accepted, so it's been hard for so long. But it's just kind of like, again, where it's both sides, where like it doesn't matter either way, positive or negative to me, either side. So that way both can annoy me, but not in a cruel sense that I'm against it. Just that I'm like why are you so prideful of this? Because it shouldn't be something.
It should
be normal.
To be. Yeah, it should just be normal.
Which is more of a criticism on the state of the world, not the individual complaining. Just anyway.
Yeah, and it just wants to be. People want it to be normal, but unfortunately, it's not perceived as.
But again,
normal,
like you said, this is Remnant. This isn't Earth. This is something different.
Absolutely.
Completely.
Yeah.
I loved Tara questioning their kids, which is why I really like that, because like I was saying before, like, these are just kids. They aren't. Are they as good as, say, Crow? And apparently, right now,
a renowned huntsman as yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice. I like that. Like, again, Crow is the huntsman that's leading these kids on this adventure, which I like. Like, I like that establishment of that idea. It's like, that's true. That is what is happening. And it's like, I was a teacher. These kids are better than me than I was. We came from the same school. I mean, they're as good as they were. Not me, but some students.
And Ruby's like, shut up, there's food!
Yeah, I really like, and Maria just like, shut the fuck up, Crow. Maria just does not like Crow at all, and I love it.
No.
And again, like, we have Tara, like, again, questioning why these kids are in this situation. From what they know, they probably don't know very much at all. Just that they're trying to get to Alice.
Yeah.
Then she goes off with the phone call, and I like how she just pops back in and goes like,
Me? Who's getting the blame? Who's getting the blame?
That was just a nice little like touch. I don't know why I like that so much. Like,
and also with that particular scene, you can actually see the guy's bags and weapons up against the wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice little touch there.
Yeah. That's good.
I like when they're making food. The counter's too tall. Nora can't reach up and grab the tomatoes. She's like, eh. This is a nice establishment again of height and stuff, and like, and like why not? Like, Nora's so short compared to like Jean.
Yeah.
It's just nice. Like, it's like, such a cool little detail. Which is unfortunate because Saffron's short as well. So, they must have bought a big house. I like that. Yeah, Adrian was like, cute and all that, and I love it. And
I love the expressions he was making, and he was like poking his face and everything when Saffron was talking, and yeah. I love doing all the other characters. Just Blake just like asking about the family and stuff, and the little detail that Jean was inspired by her sister to leave. Like, that's such a nice. Because I didn't get that the first time I watched it, but I'm like, oh, so like the reason why Jean was willing to like leave family and go pursue his grandfather and his father's like it's because Saffron left to pursue what she wanted to.
It was an inspiration. It was an inspiration to him. I'm like, that's so nice.
Yeah.
And then there's like playfully, are hitting each other. It's so nice. I love it. It's so wholesome.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. It's so nice. But then we get like, Saffron asking, "What are you doing now?" We're trying to get to Atlas, and I like the fact that this establishes they weren't just sitting there for a day or two.
So yeah,
they were
we
trying
that.
to do stuff. It's like yeah, we kind of tried that. Didn't go so well. It's like it can't be that bad. And just my favorite thing this entire episode, it's gonna sound so stupid, was just the theme.
Yeah.
Just hearing Atlas theme again.
Atlas
like this
theme.
So RWBY Volume 2.
Yes.
And I loved it so much. Because again, like, we forget RWBY is robots, mechs, all this kind of stuff. We just haven't seen
we just haven't seen it because
to me, RWBY is Veil and Atlas culture.
Yeah.
It's not Mistral culture. And again, they didn't do Mistral culture that well in Volume 4 and 5. They're not better in Volume 6, but we're already not there anymore. Well, I guess we still are technically. But that's what I mean. Like, to me, RWBY is Veil, Atlas, and Argus.
Yeah.
Like, Mistral just didn't feel quite right to me.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't flesh it out enough, kind of thing. So to hear Atlas again, it's like, yes, this feels like old RWBY again, just hearing Atlas.
The Atlas theme.
So nice.
Yeah, it was so good. And it reminded me a little bit of Grim Eclipse too, just the setting of the base.
Yeah, it did actually. It just kind of felt like, this the, it did actually, yeah.
Yeah, it did a bit.
I like it was like Golden Gate Bridge to the island. So again, more San Francisco vibes along with the carts and stuff. And I think
that was basically it.
I think that's it in terms of the episode. We mentioned a little bit earlier characters like Neo and Maria, who are more like last minute additions to the show.
Yeah.
Versus characters like the Apathy, who are very pre-Volume 1, like Salem kind of thing.
And then Miles' favourite Grim too, he confirmed that.
Yeah.
It's his favourite Grim that he wanted in Volume 4, I believe, so...
Yeah, Volume 4, we discussed too, that possibly that was meant to be around like Oscar's setting at the farmhouse, maybe because of some of the assets that had Oscar in it. My theory on that, at least. But I like the fact that, again, like, so like, the Apathy are too strong for Volume 1. So they waited till Volume 4 and they're out in the world before they introduce it again. Do you think we're going to see the Apathy again?
Maybe. We might see it again. I guess, not sure.
Because it's one of those things, it's one of those things where because I'm always like, I want to see more Grim than we've already seen. You know, we see clearly Beowulfs and Nevermores are kind of worldwide.
Yeah.
But then I kind of realized, well, maybe Ursa's, Borbatusks, Taijutsu's, Death Scorpions are just more Saurus based, and that's why we don't see if you haven't been there. And I'm like, that's actually, I'm saying this to myself, by the way, so condescending. That's a really good idea, Travis. That's a really good idea. That's where it's like that's why we don't see them. That's why we're seeing Manticores and Knucklebees. We're seeing these instead because the Grim are more native to certain regions.
Yeah.
Like animals are. Like you don't see you see kangaroos in Australia and Papua New Guinea. That's about it. You don't see them anywhere else. You don't see lions in Australia. You know, it's like it's the same way like with the Grim. Like so we see Ursa, Borbatusks, and Bale.
Yeah.
Whereas Nevermores and Beowulfs are widespread.
Yeah.
Because they're more direct creations from the God of Darkness, seemingly, and then the others have kind of just split off, like evolution have split off from that.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if the Apathy will be more like Sphinx and Knucklebee. Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you again. Where like there'll be more, because I don't know if I always can't imagine running to these guys again. They seem like so. I know there are more out there, but it seems like it seems weird to run into these guys again. But they don't seem as big as the Knucklebee or the Shink, so I really don't know.
I don't know. There's definitely been more sort of like mythical sort of themes to the ones in Mistral. Yeah.
And this also ties into the idea that we didn't run into the Fountain of Light, which we had speculated.
I was really hoping we would, but...
times. I guess the crash will look closer to the west than the east. Because we thought they crashed early in their trip. And they could have been on the train for a few days as well. That's not a thing. They could have been on the train for a number of days. And they crashed towards the end of crashed towards the end of their journey.
Possibly. Yeah. Don't know how long they were on the train.
Yeah, well, I assume that, because again, I assume it's not like a day trip by train from Mistral to... just because like it was a 6-month walk.
I'm just wondering if the I might have to look it up later actually, but the when we saw the signs back in chapter 1 at the train station, whether they had a estimated arrival time.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm curious actually if they had that, or maybe it was like cut off, like they just had the names, they didn't have the rest of the screen.
They just had the names, and I think they had departure times, but not the arrivals.
Yeah.
I can't
granted,
have a look at it.
Granted, it's surprising when you think about it how 6 months of walking at 5 kilometers an hour is actually a lot shorter when it's 100 kilometer hours on a train. The amount, you would think it'd be a shorter. It's the amount, it gets so much shorter amount of time. 6 months walking might only be 3 days on a train. It's crazy how significant the time jump would be.
Yeah.
So.
And then also because the train can go over rough terrain as well, it's going.
Yeah, and it goes at night when obviously you're sleeping, so that's extra time. And where Yang's bike, she could travel through Anima a lot quicker because she was on a bike. Yeah. Compared to the walking, so time is all weird thing, but it kind of works out, I guess. But
wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff.
Yes. One last. I just wanted to go back to because there are characters like Neo and Maria who said are probably more last minute additions to the show, and I'm always a lot more satisfied with hearing that a character was a long term story, Salem's lieutenants, the apathy. I don't know if we ever got confirmation on Leo, but I assume Leo was probably a more long-term planned character.
They probably had the idea in whether or not they had it fleshed out more recently.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. Whereas Maria might have been an idea, they just didn't flesh her out until this volume.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's also the ideas that Maria might have been in volume 5, but they just didn't. They cut it or something like that. So, whereas Neo was 100% a last-minute.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Thrown in, but now she's such a beloved character. So, it's one of those things where I have to kind of take a step back, and just because a character isn't planned for a long time doesn't mean that won't be super significant, because just how satisfying it is to me to hear that a character was a long-term thing, whereas here this was a last-minute character, it's that
okay.
I don't know, it puts a sour taste in my mouth until I actually meet the character. I'm like, this character's actually fucking awesome. A part of me wishes that it was actually funny when I saw the young Maria. I'm like, damn, I wish we had this Maria.
Yeah.
I just loved it that much.
I just loved her design.
I love the old Maria.
I was like, when I saw Maria, when you see my reaction, I was like, I want to cosplay as her. Ah!
Yeah, that'd be a hard cosplay. There's a lot to that. There's a lot to that character.
Yeah.
Design-wise.
It was more the details with the mask and the weapons. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking over my essay I did for this episode. Jeez, I don't know what I was thinking this night when I wrote this up. One thing, I won't go through all of it, one thing I noted here at the end was that Tom Alvarado, who was the head writer for RWBY, when was coming up with the idea for the Huntsman, was originally going to call him the Grim Reaper.
All right.
That was the initial idea, but he went to Miles, and Miles was like, no, I can't tell you why, so
maybe they actually had the idea, Maria, for a little while then, because, Grim Reaper,
perhaps they did. But it's one of those funny things. She's like, no, you can't use that name. It's like, why? You find out. You find out in 18 months. Come back and you'll find out in 18 months. And I'm like, So then he did the Huntsman instead. So that's an awesome little detail that Tom mentioned throughout the week. And I was going to ask something about how do you enjoy RWBY, but I don't know if we'll get into that just right now.
We'll probably wrap it up in a minute. I'm super tired. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think we're good here. I think.
If anyone has any questions, feel free to post them in chat. If you're watching on YouTube, post them in the comments and we will reply to you.
Yes. 100%.
100%.
I'm very much looking forward to this episode. Might be a bit of a tone down one, I feel like, maybe.
Chapter 8. So, it's good. I don't know. I think we're going to be... I think, because I haven't seen the RWBY Rewind, of course, I think we're going to have probably seeing a bit more with Saffron and Terra and based in Argus and the team trying to liaise with Atlas. I think we're going to be getting a lot of that, and I think we might get some villains maybe as well. Yeah,
I feel like this would be a good time to go back to the villains.
Yeah, especially
I think
Adam.
Sure.
But
or even just the Salem villains.
Salem villains, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to research into if we have the episode title or yes, but
I haven't checked my
nothing was on Reddit, so I'm checking is it RWBY spoilers would be in?
Just RWBY spoilers, yeah.
Yeah, nothing here.
Nothing there? Yep, cool.
We'll have to wait a bit longer, so sorry I can't give you that information, guys, but you'll have to find that out in due course. But I'm just trying to think. Yes, I think them trying to get into Atlas base. Yes. Would be the main one. I heard one rumor. One theory I did read.
Oh yeah.
that what if the person who's running this base was, I don't know, I'm trying to remember why they thought this, but it was like a rebuilt version of Penny. And she was like or maybe the person that Penny was based off. Or something like this. Like, what if? Okay, what if like, the Polendina daughter was getting into the military, and all of her like likeness and stuff was copied at a young age, and then she grew up, and then by the time she had grown up, they finally actually built Penny. So the Penny is like a younger version of her because they based it off her when she was younger. So we meet like the person behind Penny, and obviously there can be still two different personalities. But that was a theory, and so I'm like, I don't know if this is what I saw or I thought of myself. To be honest, this might have been my own thing.
It's a crazy idea.
I'm just like, that wouldn't be a terrible idea. I didn't think. I was like, I kind of like that idea. Obviously, there are ideas like might be Winter or Ironwood or something like that, or someone new or whatever. But I'm very interested to see what this Atlas base has, because it seems like this is going to be an important place. Maybe for a bit longer. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be in August for. I thought August might be the last point of this volume, but we got to August a lot quicker than I thought we would.
Yeah, so it seems like the first half of the volume was basically the travel arc with getting to Argus, and now we're going to have a bit more, I think, of a more one place arc trying to get to Atlas. So
but what I did like is that a lot of the characters, I think Blake and Yang and a few times this episode, were very much like of the idea of let's find an airship, let's do this, let's not dwindle here, let's keep moving. Which I kind of liked, because obviously they want to get this done. They want to get the relic safe, then decide what they're going to do going forward. And also just they're tired of staying in one place, obviously from the Mistral home and obviously the farmhouse. They don't want to stay in one place too long. I don't think. But I think, unless you have anything else to say.
No, I'm thinking good.
I think we are good. Yeah. So thank you all for watching, whether that's live, lurking, commenting, Twitch VOD, YouTube VOD, YouTube comments. It is really appreciated. I really enjoyed the stream. I really enjoyed just talking to this stream.
Even though we haven't had too much interaction from the chat, but that's fine. We're just happy to chat and it's been good.
Yeah, thank you everyone. It's really appreciated. I hope you liked, tolerated our ranting and rambles. Right. Last little tradition, of course.
Yes.
We must praise the Great One and the Weiss.
And the Waifu and Pocket Neo. Yee. There we go. Yay.
Yeah. So, with all that, we have our guests here, of course, wishing you a best week. I hope you enjoy tomorrow morning's time zones episode of RWBY.
Enjoy chapter 8.
Yeah, that would have been easier to say. Yes. Make sure to go check out RWBY Rewind and the RWBY episodes if you haven't already.
Yes.
Good stuff. And avoid the spoilers from Rooster Teeth Twitter or RWBY Rewind if you're not into that.
Yeah.
But apart from that, just wish everyone a really, really good day.
Absolutely. And we'll see you next week.
Bit of a rough morning myself, but this actually really put me in really good spirits. So thank you everyone. Really enjoyed this.
Thank you everyone for watching.
Until next time.
We'll see you next week for the Corner of Remnant.
Yeah, sounds good.
So everyone, bye.
Bye.